Good morning and welcome to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. It's NFL Week 5 and we are ready for some football. I'm your host, Matt Lowry, and alongside me are 25-year fantasy football veterans Henry the Commish Brick and Professor Steve Wynn. What a jam-packed show we have in store for you today. We're going to cover news and injuries around the NFL. Our Week 5 starts, the studs, duds, and sleepers, and a little contest for our listeners called Beat the Commish.
Oh, yeah.
All right, lines are open at 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776 if you need any help with any of your lineups or any trades that you got going on. Let's get things started. First off, Commish, how'd you do last week in the Beat the Commish?
Matt came in 8th place, I'm embarrassed to say, but I did have 24% return on investment. I was beat by the judge, who got real lucky with 54% return on investment. This week, I'm actually going to reveal who I'm starting, which I will reveal later in the show. And you know what? That's how confident I am that no one will be able to beat me this week in the Beat the Commish contest, brought to you by FantasyPlayerExchange.com.
Well, and I have to say, I played this week as well, and I came in dead last. And I ride you guys.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah, enjoyed that donation.
Thanks for
and
the donation.
Yeah, we're gonna move on now. All right, Professor. So, did your prediction of a fresh hell come true last week?
No. You know what? I had a simple plan last week. The real refs were back, so you know what I did? I picked all the underperforming stars in the NFL as my picks of the week. You know what? It went well. I have to expect that there will be a continued return to normal going forward in the NFL.
All right. So remember, you can get all of the professor's great advice and more right on our website. It's kickassfantasyfootball.com. Check it out. We have a great newsletter, goes out several times a week to tell you all the injuries, who to start, who to trade, who to pick up off of waiver wires. You get all that free. Just go to our website, sign up for the newsletter, and check out all the great stuff there. All right, and in fact, let's answer an email from one of our faithful listeners over the last 3 years. Jersey in the House emailed us and wants to know, I just traded Ben Tate and Brandon LaFell for Greg Jennings. Good move. It's a one-point PPR league. My other running backs are Murray, MJD, Spiller, and my wide receivers are Wallace, Harvin, and Wayne. What do you guys think? Professor, Commish, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I really like to trade Ben Tate. I don't think he's playing today, and Brandon LaFell's fallen off the face of the fantasy earth. Greg Jennings, I think, will have much more upside moving forward, even with the concussion issue. I think that's a good guy to stash on the bench as the playoffs near later in the year.
Yeah, this is definitely an upside move on both sides. Ben Tate is probably never going to see the light of day of his starting lineup, so getting somebody like Greg Jennings, and Tate's really the only value that he's traded away. I like the trade.
All right. So good move there, Jersey in the House. And I want to remind everyone, if you ever have any questions during the week, you can email us at thecommish@kickassfantasyfootball.com. We'll get right back to you. It's great stuff. And again, check out our website, www.kickassfantasyfootball.com. All right, and let's go to the phone lines. We got our first caller. We got Ed from Vineland on the phone. Ed, welcome to the show.
How you doing, man?
All right, what do you got?
I have, if you don't mind, I have a couple questions.
All right.
I need a flex play.
Okay.
I need two out of Jamal Charles and Darren Sproles, or Steve Smith, or James Jones.
I would go Jamal Charles and James Jones, personally. I like those guys. Is this a PPR league or not?
Yes, it is.
Ooh, okay. Maybe Charles and Sproles then, but Charles first and either Sproles or Jones.
What do you think, Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm loving Jamal Charles. Steve Smith's hard to bench for me, even because I think he's a big threat to score and give you some long ones. I like Charles and Smith.
Okay. You got something else for us?
Yeah, I kind of like Christian Ponder today. I got Ponder, Luck, or Sharp.
Wow.
And who would have thought in preseason this would have ever been a question?
I'm going to let the commish take this one. He has some firm words about Christian Ponder later in the show.
Yeah, I do like Ponder, but Luck is going to is your guy here of these three. Luck will probably have to put it up about 40 times today in this matchup. So you got to go edge Luck. He's coming off the bye. He's going up against the Packers. He's going to have to throw it all day. They really don't have a running game. Luck is your guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Luck has got to put it up. It'll be garbage time stats, but you know what? We don't take points away for that.
That's right. Garbage time production is good production. All right, you got anything else for us, or was that it?
No, that was it. Thanks
All right.
a lot, guys.
Appreciate the call. And if you have any questions, give us a call at 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. All right, it is time to talk some injuries and news around the league. Kamish, what do you got for us?
We're going to start off with quarterbacks. We got Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill was added to the injury report despite practicing on Friday, but looks like he will start.
Okay, Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez practiced Friday. He is expected to start. The team is unclear on whether he is expected to stink.
Titans quarterback Jake Locker will be out again today. Look for Matt Hasselbeck to carry the reins for the Titans.
Okay, on to running backs. Matt Forte practiced Friday. He's expected to start. Michael Bush has his own injury issues, so Chicago and this show, welcome back, Mr. Forte.
Backup running back Brandon Bolden is questionable with a knee injury. Did see some light work Friday, which usually means he'll play on Sunday.
Chiefs starting fullback, running back, all-around pass-catching guy Peyton Hillis out this week.
Dolphins running back Reggie Bush with that hip did practice Friday, will start today.
Eagles LaShawn McCoy practiced Friday. I think he is a safe start this week. Keep him in your lineup.
Brandon Jacobs, blast from the past here for the 49ers, practice Friday. Looks like he will play this Sunday.
Okay, Rashard Mendenhall, Pittsburgh Steelers, practiced Friday, on target to play. His role for the game is unclear since he hasn't played since last season, but the fill-ins in Pittsburgh have not been good. Do not be surprised to see some decent production out of Mendenhall today.
Aaron Foster with a hamstring injury did practice Friday. Looks like he will go. We already talked about Ben Tate. His backup did not practice, so does not look like he will play. Justin Forsett will back Foster up in the event Tate is ruled out.
Moving on to wide receivers and tight ends. Tight end Scott Chandler of the Bills practiced Friday. He's expected to start. No concussion symptoms for Mr. Chandler.
And Browns starting wide receiver Mohamed Matsakai with a hamstring is listed as doubtful. Did not practice. Looks like he will not go today.
Okay, Colt tight end Kobe Fleener practiced Friday. He's expected to play. If you got him as a deep play, keep him in the game.
Julio Jones with the hand issue did practice Friday and will go today.
Okay, I want to confirm for everybody, Hakeem Nicks is out today. Dominic Hickson will start again for him. Looks to have a good play as a week one wonder, or 1 week wonder. Ramses Barden is also out.
Love Hickson today. Jaguars starting wide receiver Laurent Robinson is out with a concussion. Look for Kevin Elliott to get the nod.
Santonio Holmes is put on the IR this week. Early season stud Stephen Hill is questionable, so look for Chaz Schillens and Jeremy Curley. Of course, with Mark Sanchez throwing them the ball, maybe you shouldn't look for Jazz and Jeremy this week.
He's also going to be out missing, looks like Dustin Keller. He's got a hamstring injury and very questionable to play. Look for Jeff Cumberland to take his spot in the event Keller does not go.
Okay, we mentioned earlier Greg Jennings is out today. James Jones gets the start, should be in your lineup. Jennings dealing with a groin injury, not a concussion, so he will be back eventually.
And the Pats will be without Julian Edelman again. Look for Wes Welker to have a big day today.
Okay, also with the Pats, Rob Gronkowski will start. Aaron Hernandez is game time decision. The Pats are close to having their two tight end set back.
Second week back this week for Pierre Garçon with that foot injury. Will go. It looks like he should have a decent game against the Falcons.
Saints wide receiver Lance Moore is out, so if you were expecting another huge day out of him, don't count on it.
Probably not.
And Kenny Britt out with the ankle injury. Looks like will not go today.
And finally, kickers. Matt, am I allowed to talk about kickers?
How many?
Just one.
Okay.
Just one.
Right.
Well, actually, it's two, but it's one
Okay.
item. Nate Kading is out for the Chargers. He is going to be relieved by a backup. Go get somebody else off of the waiver wire, though.
Yeah, and if your team comes down to picking up a kicker, man, you need a lot more help. Because, all right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Andy from Delaware on the phone with us. Andy, welcome to the show. Andy, you there? All right.
This is Dan.
Oh, Dan. All right, that'll work. Dan,
Dan.
Andy, it's early. What do you got for us?
Yeah, it sounds kind of the same. I know this doesn't sound like a terrible problem, but I have 4 running backs. I need to start 2 and 1 as a flex. So I need to figure out which one to not start. I have McCoy, Alfred Morris, Reggie Bush, and Matt Forte. Who do I not play?
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, that's not too
Exactly.
bad.
Wow. So you have to start 2 of these 4?
No, 3, because one's a flex
I have to
as
start
well.
3 because I need to put 1 in flex. I got McCoy, Morris, Reggie Bush, and Matt Forte.
So who's out?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I got McCoy and Morris as top 12 plays. They are legit starts. Bush and Forte are 13 and 14 on my list, and that's really a coin flip when you get down that far. They're both coming off of injuries, but I think that Forte facing that Jacksonville defense with Michael Bush a little bit dinged up, I think he's going to want to prove something. So he would be my 3rd guy. So leave Bush on the bench.
I agree, absolutely.
Yeah,
Forte's a great flex
can I ask
player.
you one more question?
Sure,
Absolutely.
go
I've got wide receivers Macklin and Britt on my team. They've been dead weight. What am I doing with them? Am I holding on to them?
Yes, you're holding on to both of them. It looks like you've got a pretty deep team here. Both of these guys have top 10, top 15 potential, and I like Britt once he gets healthy. They do need to throw the ball, and it looks like Hasselbeck's in there for the foreseeable.
And let's face
Okay,
it,
great.
you can't sell low. I mean,
Yeah,
You gotta
they're
wait for a
valueless.
big. You gotta wait for a big game.
So
out of
even-
Britt,
even
and then
if-
you cut them loose.
Right.
They make a nice trade.
so even if you're not high on Macklin this year because he hasn't helped you out so much, you can't do it until he has the big game and you can actually get something
Macklin's
from him.
definitely a guy I like to see you hold on to. Britt, however, you got to wait for a game out of him, and then you move him because the guy's
Right,
too up and down, Macklin, he's coming off that injury, should do well down the line for you.
Great. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, and I love the show. Listen every week.
All
Thanks,
right,
Andy.
sounds
Thanks,
good. And I would have told him he could have had a Sunday Funday shirt from the pick, but he's in Delaware, probably a little too far for Dan there to drive. But we got Walt from Millville on the phone. Walt, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, guys, I'm a PPR league. I've got 4 spots. It's got to be wide receivers and a running back. I'm starting Victor Cruz, Ronnie White, Brandon Lloyd for the shootout in New England, and I got 1 running spot. Do I Alfred Morris or Trent Richardson?
Wow,
Wow.
that's a great question. That's another one where I've got the guys right next to each other in my lineup. They're both at the bottom end of the running back ones. I do like Trent Richardson's matchup a little bit better than Alfred Morris's, so Trent Richardson would be my pick, but by a hair. Very close.
Well, I like Alfred Morris a little better only because he is home against Atlanta, and I think they're going to be having to defend those receivers all day because they're going to be thrown, which is going to really open up the running game for Morris today. So that's where I'm at.
All right.
That's also then. They got one going one way and one the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Well,
Sorry about that.
but both of them agree that it's basically a coin flip. I mean, they're neck and neck. Is that right, Professor?
Yeah, it's close. I do think that Griffin does take a little bit of the touchdown scoring away from Morris, so the balance, slight as it is, goes to Richardson there. The Giants just have been pretty bad stopping the run, which is the rationale.
Yeah, but Richardson's the only team in town in Cleveland, basically, so they can zero in on them a little bit better.
Exactly. They're going to be able to put 8 in the box against Richardson today.
Yeah, they will be able to have their terrible receivers for Cleveland go up against the terrible cornerbacks for the Giants.
Yeah.
So always fun to watch 2 D- teams play each other.
All
All
right.
right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Well,
Thanks for the call, and I want to remind everyone, if you got any questions, give us a call, 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. When we come back, we're going to keep the phone lines going, and we're going to give you your last-minute lineup help. You're listening to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show.
For a buffalo wing, the Piccalilli. When it comes to cooking wings, we're the king, the Piccalilli. Pull up a chair, grab a table, enjoy the atmosphere. Have something good to eat or have yourself around if you can't stop in, stop back. Great food, great drinks where everybody is a friend. If you can't
It isn't fall without the famous Piccalilli Inn. Catch all of your favorite football action at the Piccalilli Inn. Check out the Pick's brand new menu featuring homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, buffalo shrimp, scallops, and the tender Pick Burger. They go great with one of the Pick's ice-cold on-tap beers. Catch every football game at the Pick. Enjoy an awesome meal while you watch your favorite team. The Piccalilli Inn, a Jersey tradition since the 1920s. On Route 206 in Chemong. If you can't stop in, stop back.
The Piccalilli Inn.
Don't let your fantasy issues become a reality. Fantasy Judgment is the premier dispute resolution service for all fantasy sports leagues. Led by attorney Michael Stein, the Supreme Court of Fantasy Judgment will resolve any and all issues or conflicts that arise in fantasy leagues. This includes disputed trades, collusion, abuse of power by league commissioners, lineup and roster errors, draft issues, score discrepancies, and interpretation of league rules. We alleviate the burden for league commissioners and allow everyone to focus on winning their leagues rather than arguing over disputes. Visit www.fantasyjudgment.com.
Now is your chance to experience the new game that's transforming fantasy sports. Fantasy Player Exchange is a new daily game that allows you to compete against friends and fantasy foes for cash prizes. With FPX, you can select 5 players from any active sport. Sign up now at fantasyplayerexchange.com for your chance to beat ESPN Radio's Henry the Commish Brick and win $1,000 cash. Go to fantasyplayerexchange.com to sign up and play today. Remember, that's fantasyplayerexchange.com.
And welcome back to the Piccalilli and Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Our phone lines are open. If you need help from our experts, the number is 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. All right, guys, it is time for my favorite segment, Dude, I'm Sorry. Hey, this is where we admit our mistakes from last week and have to apologize for that. And I love seeing the looks on their faces as they have to cringe through this. Commish, why don't you lead us out? Who are you sorry for?
As I sit here pondering who I'm sorry for, one player comes to mind. That's Christian Ponder.
Yeah,
He threw a whopping 26 balls, completed only 16 of them for 111 yards, and guess what? No touchdowns. For this dude, I'm sorry.
You're fired. I want to say...
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes, I think so.
That based on your recommendations last week, that is who I came in last with, and the Beat the Commish game. I said, okay, I like that. I'm going to load up on Christian Ponder, and I came in dead last.
I got caught up in the whole Ponder hype, and I pondered wrong.
Yeah. You know, I put some reaches in there, and they actually hit once in a while, man. if you want some advice.
All right, but we'll hit on that. But who are you sorry for, Professor?
Michael LaShore was my big miss last week. He had a combined 63 yards. Not good enough as a running back 1. Not good enough as a running back 2. He should have been on your bench. For that dude, I'm sorry.
Diddly poo. All right. Well, we do occasionally get some things right, though. And Professor, who are you the man about?
Well, you know, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I was going for my underperforming studs with the real refs back. Aaron Rodgers and Cam Newton both put in a top 5 week. Before week 4, both of them were outside of the top 10. Rodgers was number 23 overall at quarterback. Real refs are back. Bizarro fantasy football is over. I am the man.
Nice. Well, last week I gave 2 strong fantasy players at quarterback. I told you and will continue to tell you that RG3 every week is the man. He gave us 323 passing yards, 43 rushing yards, and a touchdown. My reach of the week at quarterback was Josh Freeman, who passed for 299 yards and a touchdown. Yes, I'm the man.
Dream team.
Picking RG3 as your pick of the week is like saying Will Chamberlain might go home with somebody tonight. That's a good one.
Nice.
All right. Hey, let's go back to the phone lines. We got T-Mac from Tuckerton on the phone. T-Mac, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, what do you got for us?
I'm in a PPR league. I got 2 flex spots. I got 5 guys here that I could go with. I got Fred Jackson, Donnie Avery, Brandon LaFell, Meacham, and Devon Bass.
Okay.
2 of those guys I got to start.
Well, I'm going to throw Meacham out right at the start as the best play of those guys because Lance Moore is out. So he will get a bump up in his targets. He has been underperforming most of the year, but you don't really have a hit parade of guys that you've thrown out there. So I would say Meacham and I would say Bess would be the other one. I think that Miami's going to be throwing the heck out of the ball.
Wow, I'm going to disagree with that, T-Mac. I really like Donnie Avery today for you in a PPR league. They're coming off that bye week. They're going to have to throw it a lot. All the attention is going to be paid to Reggie Wayne. Avery, I think, is definitely the receiver here now. You also mentioned Fred Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Hard to bench a running back. Fred Jackson does catch the ball well out of the backfield. Yes, they're going up against San Francisco. Going to be tough to run the ball, but I think he will be able to catch the ball well out of the backfield. I think they're your two plays.
Avery and Jackson.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
thanks, guys.
And T-Mac, if you're not doing anything later, if you go by and check out the Piccalilli Inn, they got a Sunday Funday shirt, and you know what? For calling in with such a great question, you get a free app from there as well.
Cool.
Free appetizer, not an iPhone
Yeah,
app.
Not an iPhone app. A free,
free appetizer.
Just see Everett there at the bar, and he'll hook you up.
It's 2012. It's a shame we have to mention that.
Yeah.
Right, T-Mac, thanks for
You
calling.
know what? Good point. All right. And if you guys got any questions, again, number 609-573-3776. There's only a little bit of time before kickoff. You got to get your lineup set, and we are here to help you out. All right, it is time to get into our Piccalilli picks of the week. You know to start your studs. We dig a little deeper to find the guys with great matchups to help you out if you have some bye week issues or some injury issues. So, Commish, lead us out. Who is your Piccalilli picks of the week at quarterback?
Already mentioned him a couple times during the early part of the show. Andrew Luck versus Green Bay. He's coming off the bye. He really has no running game, and he will have to pass it a ton to keep up today.
Well, quarterback Eli Manning will be able to get over the bad game against the Eagles because his turn this week is against the Cleveland Browns. He's pissed. Play him.
All right.
Cam Newton versus Seattle at home. Seattle was very impressive on national TV a couple weeks ago. Last week, not so much. Cam will get it done through the air and on the ground.
Joe Flacco has a little extra rest, played Thursday last week. He's got a game against the Kansas City Chiefs D, who is not very good. Teams seem to get a lot of touchdowns against this D. Flacco's been playing like a stud. You need him in your lineup.
Ryan Fitzpatrick versus the 49ers. The defense can be beaten by the pass. He has been decent lately, and will have to throw it here to have a chance.
Wow, I think we just got an early preview of next week's Dude, I'm Sorry. Picking a player against the Niners is bold. Phillip Rivers, however, gets the Saints D this week. I'm not a fan of Rivers this year at all. But if you haven't figured out to start your players against New Orleans, you need to be paying attention.
All right, at the tight end position, I got Fred Davis versus Atlanta. RG3 starting to get Fred more involved every week. I think he finds the end zone this week.
I got Fred's brother from another mother. Vernon Davis is a great play this week. You should get VD this week in your lineup. The Bills D is pretty bad up the middle. The Bills D is terrible up the middle, and Vern has a great season so far. Start him.
Get Scott Chandler in your lineup against the 49ers. Fitz loves his tight end, even more now with the loss of David Nelson. He will look for him in the red zone today.
Well, 5 weeks in a row with Kyle Rudolph, you would think I'd get tired of it. But this week, he gets the Titans. They allow the most production to tight ends by double over the number 2 team as far as defending tight ends. 2 TDs per game, 100 yards receiving. You must start Kyle Rudolph this week.
How about Heath Miller versus the Birds? Fresh off a bye week, and Philly's corners will pay lots of attention to Brown and Wallace, so Miller will be PPR gold today.
Okay, I like that pick. Interesting. Are we still picking tight ends against the Eagles? Is that still a trend?
Absolutely.
I got Jermichael Finley. His targets are up. Greg Jennings is out. He's already getting a lot of targets with Jennings in. Start him.
How about wide receiver Dominic Hickson? He's the waiver wire pickup of the week. He goes up against Cleveland. Looks like Nix will be out a little bit longer. Ramsey Barden out with a concussion. Hickson will continue to get it done with one-on-one coverage with Cruz on the other side.
Yeah, Hickson would have been my first pick here, too. We do let the commish have first dibs on these things. That is a great play, though. I got Jerome Simpson. He had a bunch of targets, a bunch of throws his way last week. Look for more of the same and better production as he gets his timing down with Christian Ponder.
Donnie Avery, mentioned him a little early in the show. He's fresh off the bye week. No Austin Collie. Avery will also have the benefit of that one-on-one coverage this week with Reggie Wayne getting all the attention.
James Jones gets the start this week for Greg Jennings. The Packers are getting back on track. Starting wide receivers for the Packers are must-starts. James Jones is one of them.
Brian Hartline versus the Bengals. Wow, that's all I could say here. Looks like there is another fantasy player other than Reggie Bush that plays for the Dolphins.
And finally, Nate Washington. He gets a game against the weak Vikings pass defense. He should be the whole darn show in the passing game this week for Tennessee.
At running back, we got Darren Sproles versus the San Diego Superchargers. He's PPR gold this week versus the Chargers as they give up the 13th most points to running backs.
Now, how about Marshawn Lynch? He's a great play against a below-par Panthers run defense. No offense, Matt.
That's okay. I can't even say anything on that one.
Lynch is always a great play, but against this D, folks, he has a chance to really shine.
Okay, how about Matt Forte versus the Jacksonville Jaguars? He's finally back and playing. Jacksonville gives up the third most fantasy points to running backs. Great play this week.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is for that earlier recommendation of the caller. Trent Richardson gets a swing at the Giants D that let the Eagles run all over them last Sunday night. The Giants may play angry after last week, but they don't have the talent on the D-line to back up that anger.
And this is an ode to my partner here, the professor, because he fleeced him this week in a big trade in our league. Ryan Matthews versus the Saints. Yes, he's number 2 on the depth chart behind Jackie Battle, but I'm not worried about it. This is a great matchup for him as the Saints defense gives up the most points to fantasy running backs in the NFL.
And finally, running back Cedric Benson. He's a solid running back number 2 this week. The Packers should be ahead. They will feast on the Indianapolis Colts. It's a get-well defense for everybody on the Packers.
So, Professor, you stole Ryan Matthews this week?
I got accused of letting him go for a song, so I don't know. I'm stealing him. I'm getting. I'm taking advantage of people. I'm getting taken advantage of.
I'm disappointed. If someone steals someone in that league, it's supposed to be us. Well, what happened there? Did you fall asleep this week? How did you not get him?
I was a day late and $1 short.
Yeah, I did get an offer from the commish for Ryan Matthews after I acquired him in the trade. I was a little surprised. I'm going to be honest. I made that trade offer the week before, and the trade had not expired, and I would have pulled it back, but I'm still happy with the trade.
Okay. All right. Hey, well, we got one more set of Piccalilli picks of the week to go through. We got our favorite bartender, Everett, from the Piccalilli Inn on the phone, and he is going to give us his picks of the week as well as some specials there and at the Piccalilli Inn on Route 206 in Chemung, New Jersey. Everett, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Everett, you having a pretty darn good fantasy season. Your Drew Brees has been out of the park so far. Only one of the top-end quarterbacks to really be living up to his billing. What do you got for us this week at quarterback?
At quarterback, I actually have 2. This is, for me, as a Redskins fan, a hard week to say, but I think Matty Ice is going to absolutely have a field day with my Redskins defense. They are allowing the most points to fantasy quarterbacks.
Wow.
But as a actual pick that hasn't been the easiest guy to read is Jay Cutler. I think Jay Cutler's going to have a big day against Jacksonville. They should have fun. I think you should get back on track.
I hope you're right, Everett, because I'm forced to play him in one league this week. So I'm really pulling for that to be the right call. I like that one. How about
as far as running back? I think Reggie Bush, now that his knee is better, they're playing against Cincinnati. They should have a big day today. They're allowing, I think they're the top 10 team. Am I right on that one? Top 10 team against rushing yards allowed.
Yes, that's exactly right.
That's why you are the Piccalilli guru, Everett.
I was sitting there and I was looking at him. I didn't know. I was just looking at him this morning as I was redoing my lineups. And I was reading, I was like, who are they playing? Go and look, did a little research. I said, he's going to come back. We're going to have a big day. Because a lot of people are still using him as flexes, from what I gather as far as talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he's a great play.
All right, who do you got at wide receiver?
Another one that has been up and down. He had like 2 games that he was at a normal production rate, and that's Mr. Andre Johnson. The Texans have no threat on the other side of the ball, and he's having
we are
a rough
on the same
year.
page, my friend.
But without Darrelle Revis, I think he's going to have a big day.
Yep, absolutely.
I like that pick. That's a very good one. So, speaking of picks, what do we have for specials at the pick today?
Oh, today is a great day. Coming in with our green bottle specials for all Eagles games. our blue bottle of Bud Platinum specials for the Giants game. Bud Platinum is $2. All green bottles are $3 for the Eagles game. $2 PBR. Everybody apparently is loving the Pabst Blue Ribbon, so I got to show some props for PBR. We have $2 PBRs, and that not only is for today, all day, every day at Piccalilli.
Well, there you go. If you want to go in and root for the Eagles, get those green bottles. If you're a Western Pennsylvania guy and pulling for the Steelers, well, Pabst is a good choice for you. So you got some working class beer there for the working class Steelers.
And I got to say, I'm not really a Giants fan, but I love that Bud Platinum stuff. So I might have to lie and say go Giants and go.
So head on out there for the 1 o'clock games. Have a conversation with Everett. Take a drive out to the Pick. World-class wings, great food, fantastic beer specials this week. And if you talk to Everett at the bar about fantasy football, we can get you signed up for Kick-Ass Fantasy Football. Get you your Sunday Fun Day jerseys, T-shirts rather. It's all good out at the Pick. It's a party.
And don't forget them scalps, man. They're the hook.
All right, Everett, thanks for calling in, and we'll talk to you next week.
No problem, guys. Have a good week.
You too. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got Frank from Ocean City on the phone. Frank, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great morning.
First of all, I was calling a couple weeks ago. I called you back. I want to thank the gentleman who told me to play. I played Charles against the Saints a couple weeks ago.
That would be me, and you're absolutely welcome.
I always wait to listen for the sarcasm in the voice because I'm waiting for him to say, and you know what? You told me.
It was either Charles or Michael Bush, and I played Charles, and he had like 289 total yards against the Saints.
Yeah.
That was
awesome.
It really helped me win that game.
Beautiful.
I got a problem here. Every week, I'm just in a basic league with, but I have a ton of wide receivers, and every week I have to pick between a lot of receivers. And every one of my receivers is a starter. I've already played Fitzgerald. I got to pick two of these guys, Colston, Brandon Marshall, Julio Jones, Bo, and Percy Harvin.
Wow.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
How many do you need out of those two? Out of those
I
lists,
only
just
need
two?
I only need two of them. It's just I'm in an 8-man league, and we only start 3 receivers. And actually, I have another guy I can use as a receiver who's also on my team, and that's Antonio Gates. I have a total of 7. I have 7 receivers on my roster.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a bunch of guys that are in my top 10. Fitzgerald was on my list for the week. Jones, Marshall, Harvin, all in my top 10. I would go Harvin and Marshall this week. But man, it's hard to not say Julio Jones. He's right in that pack.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been playing Jones all year, but this last week I saw he had a hand problem. I didn't know he had a hand, and he still has an injury thing by his name on my computer, so I didn't know if he's.
Yeah, the hand should be okay. Should be okay, and they're going up against a really weak secondary with Washington. I mean, Matt Ryan should light it up big time today. I'm loving Julio, and I agree with the professor. Brandon Marshall, great play against Jacksonville because their defense is just horrible.
All right.
All right.
No, so we agree on.
We'll enjoy your show. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, so we
agree on Marshall. I think we were split on Jones and Harvin, but all 3 of them great plays.
Yeah, they're all great plays. They really are. Yeah.
All right. And I want to remind everyone, if you have any lineup questions, give us a call, 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. We will help you set your lineup for Week 5. And we got Mike on the phone from Little Egg Harbor. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
All right, what do you got for us?
All right, I got Jordy Nelson, Demarius Thomas, and Malcolm Floyd, but I just picked up Hartline. I don't know if I should swap one of those guys out.
How many do you have to start out of the 4? 3?
I have 3.
You have 3 to start.
Okay, you got to start 3. Well, I've got Hartline in my top 20. I've got Demarius Thomas in my top 20. I got Malcolm Floyd outside of the top 20, so I would guess Malcolm Floyd by process of elimination. And Floyd's another one, just barely outside of my top 20. Got him at 23. I think the Saints D is very vulnerable, but how do you sit Demarius Thomas? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I agree here. Yeah. Floyd's the guy to sit. Go with Hartline. We like him. Demarius Thomas, you can't sit him. Jordy Nelson, the must start every week.
All right. Thanks
thank you.
Thanks for the call, Mike. And we got Tom from Upper Deerfield on the phone. Tom, welcome to the show.
How are you?
All right. What do you got?
Cedric Benson, Michael Turner, and who's my other guy? Cedric Benson, Michael Turner.
Do you?
You've got a heart condition because you've got a roster with a lot of the more boring running backs in the NFL. Like both of these guys, though, they're guys that do produce. I think that Benson is a better play this week, as the Packers will be playing from the lead. Turner's still in my top 20, but with the passing game and the woes that the Redskins have against the pass with their injuries, I think that Benson's a better play.
Yeah, definitely. Jacquizz Rodgers is going to steal some thunder from Turner this week, especially with passing the ball. Said Benson definitely the better play.
Yeah, I also have Ahmad Bradshaw.
Oh, okay, well, he's exciting. He gets benched and injured and stuff like that, so he'll keep your blood pressure up.
Yeah, I like Bradshaw today. At home against Cleveland. Nice play.
All right.
Bradshaw and Benson.
Bradshaw and Benson, yep.
Bradshaw and Benson. All right, thanks for the call. And we got Eric from Galloway on the phone. Eric, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, what's up, guys? First time of the year, I just made a trade and got Cam Newton.
Nice.
And now I have him and Rivers. Rivers is playing the great New Orleans defense, but you figure New Orleans has to put it together one of these times.
Right.
So am I better off going with Cam Newton against Seattle today?
You know what? Seattle's got a good defense,
They do.
but I do think that the studs are finally going to find their way back into the top fives. Newton did find his way back last week. I like them both, though. Rivers is going to have a field day. I don't think the Saints' defense turns it around, even though they are in New Orleans this week. They've just lost too much between coaching and talent. So Rivers has got the upside. I think that Newton's a safer play, though.
Yeah, I mean, Cam should have a decent day today. I mean, Seattle, impressive one week, unimpressive the next, so I wouldn't get caught up in their day. Cam gets it done in the air and on the ground today.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call. And we got Mike from Cape May on the phone. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
All right. What do you got for us?
I just have a quick question. Michael Vick or Big Ben today?
Ooh.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, Pittsburgh D does pick up this week.
They got Harrison back. They got Palomalu back.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I've got them both outside of my top 12, so I don't think that either of them rates as a starter. But the Eagles have not shown me any consistency this year. I'm going Big Ben all the way.
I'm going Big Ben too. I have to agree. Yeah,
Okay,
they're home. They're home coming off the bye. Tough to bench a guy like that. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
You got it.
All right, thanks a lot. And to all of our great callers, I want to remind you can go by the Piccalilli Inn today. Check out their beer specials and get your Sunday Fun Day shirt. And you know what? For calling in with all these great questions, you get a free appetizer just for asking those questions. So we got your names on the list. Go see Everett at the Piccalilli Inn. It's a great time and some great specials going there. And when we come back, we're going to get into our Reaches of the Week, continue to take some of your lineup questions, and we got our commishes, Beat the Commish game to go over. You're listening to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show here on 97.3 ESPN.
Fantasy football owners, it's draft time, and kickassfantasyfootball.com makes it easy.
How do we make it easy?
Projections from the experts, cheat sheets with your scoring rules.
What else?
Articles all season long, waiver wire picks, trade advice, everything you need to win a championship.
How about a free judgment from fantasyjudgment.com, a $15 value?
Now we're talking.
Subscribe today for just $9.95, and we'll throw in a complimentary cruise for two to the Bahamas.
Cruise to a championship with kickassfantasyfootball.com.
Famous for a buffalo wing. The Piccalilli. When it comes to cooking wings, we're the king. The Piccalilli. Pull up a chair, grab a table, enjoy the atmosphere. Have something good to eat or have yourself a round of cheer. If you can't stop in, stop back. Great food, great drinks where everybody is a friend. If you can't stop in, stop back. The Piccalilli Inn.
It isn't fall without the famous Piccalilli Inn. Catch all of your favorite football action at the Piccalilli Inn. Check out the Pick's brand new menu featuring homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, buffalo shrimp, scallops, and the tender Pick burger. They go great with one of the Pick's ice cold on tap beers. Catch Catch every football game at The Pick. Enjoy an awesome meal while you watch your favorite team. The Piccalilli Inn, a Jersey tradition since the 1920s. On Route 206 in Chemong. If you can't stop in, stop back.
The Piccalilli Inn.
Now is your chance to experience the new game that's transforming fantasy sports. Fantasy Player Exchange is a new daily game that allows you to compete against friends and fantasy foes for cash prizes. With FPX, you can select 5 players from any active sport. Sign up now at fantasyplayerexchange.com for your chance to beat ESPN Radio's Henry the Commish Brick and win $1,000 cash. Go to fantasyplayerexchange.com to sign up and play today. Remember, that's fantasyplayerexchange.com.
And welcome back to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Hey, I'm going to keep the phone lines going. If you need help from our experts with any last-minute lineup questions, the number 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. You can also go to our website, kickassfantasyfootball.com, to get all your lineup set. And again, great stuff. You can sign up for our newsletter there. We send it out several times a week to tell you who to pick up off of waiver wires, how the injury reports are shaping up, who to trade and trade for. It's great stuff. You can do it all there at kickassfantasyfootball.com. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got John from Barnegat on the phone. John, welcome to the show.
Hi. I think the Eagles will win today because what Michael Vick did last week, some of them like good moves, like the fake throws, but he ran around.
Yes, he did. He ran. He ran very well.
Yeah, you know the problem is the Steelers are finally getting completely healthy. They've got Mendenhall. He should be in the game today. Their defense has got a couple starters back.
Yeah, you got James Harrison back, Palomalu back today.
So, but I will ask him. Who do you think wins the game?
The Steelers. The Eagles always follow up an emotional win with a letdown, and you can't have a letdown against the Steelers. Last week, huge emotion. This week, I see a 24-10 sort of game.
I'll be rooting like hell, but
don't think it's going to happen. All right. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Cody from Linwood on the phone. Cody, welcome to the show. What's your question?
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Cody.
I got a situation. I need a flex player. I got 2 guys. I need to play Garcon, or I can plug in Fred Jackson.
Ooh,
Garcon or Fred Jackson?
You know what? I'm liking Garcon in this scenario. You got a great matchup there. He's 2 weeks now removed from the injury. That's the way to go. Fred Jackson does have that tougher matchup with the Niners, so I'm going Garcon.
Right. Yeah, Jackson's also splitting carries. It's still kind of up in the air out in Buffalo, so I think that Pierre Garcon is a great play today. I think they're going to have to chuck it a bunch.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Hey, all right, guys. It is time to get into our reaches of the week, brought to you by the FantasyPlayerExchange.com. Play daily multi-sport fantasy against your friends for as little as $2 by picking 5 players of any sport and compete for cash at FantasyPlayerExchange.com. All right, Commish, why don't you lead us out? Who is your reach of the week?
Starting out with Jerome Simpson. I know the professor liked him a little earlier in the show. He's going up against Tennessee. Their defense very unimpressive, and Simpson can use this game to get on the same page with Ponder in a big way. We have him projected for 5 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown on kickassfantasyfootball.com.
Yeah, if you're looking for an FPX play for Beat the Commish this week, Jerome Simpson is a great one. I don't know why you're sharing that with our listeners, Commish. That's
how confident I am.
Starting out in the hole.
A lot of confidence. Okay.
I got Kendall Hunter, who should have a good day against the same defense that had you all watching your TV screens last week and saying, who is Brandon Bolden? Frank Gore's a starter. He'll have a good day too, but bye weeks are here. If you need an upside flex play, think about Kendall Hunter.
How about Alshon Jeffrey versus Jacksonville? Jacksonville's defense can be beat. If you need him due to a bye week, now's the time to take a shot with him to catch a touchdown deep. A great reach play this week. I have projected 3 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay, well, Andrew Hawkins is the prototype sleeper this week. He is on your roster after his big week earlier in the season. He's out there. He's not on the waiver wire in any league, so he gets the Dolphins defense this week. You will not get another quality start like this out of Hawkins. Get him in the game today.
All right, great stuff there. And Commish, so we have your Beat the Commish game. And what place did you come in this week? Last week?
Came in 8th last week. You know what? I always try to leave a little room for people to squeak by me. This week, whole different story, Matt, because as I'm going to do right now, I'm going to reveal who I'm going to actually play this week in the Beat the Commish game. That's how confident I am in my lineup. I don't think anyone has a shot to beat me this week.
I want to hear you say Christian Ponder this week because you lost. You owe me $2. We're going to settle this up afterwards. All right, and we got Victor on the phone from FantasyPlayerExchange.com. Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Hey Victor, how you doing, man? Listen, I was a little weak last week, coming in 8th, but I did have 24% return on investment, so not terrible bad, but. Man, I got beat by the judge with like over 53% return on investment. Insane. He got real lucky.
Yeah, he I don't know if luck is it, but yeah, he had a great week, 54%, and like I said, you had 24%. You were down a little bit, but yeah, you definitely had a nice return. He just had the right players this week.
I also think he cheated because, again, he gave out players like Christian Ponder, who, if you listened to him and then played, brought you in last place. I noticed Christian Ponder was not on your team, Commish, last week.
Yeah, Commish is telling all the listeners to play players on the bye this week.
I got a lot of confidence going in.
That's his method that works.
Absolutely. Now, tell us what we got going on, Victor. I know, tell us about the college. How's that going? I know you brought in college. We can play on Saturdays now on FantasyPlayerExchange.com.
Correct. As of 2 weeks ago, we put in college football. It's Division 1A. So obviously now that gives us more players throughout the week to play, not just on Saturdays, which obviously is the main day for college football. But there are games, throughout the week, especially coming in the next few weeks. You'll see during the holiday season there'll be a game just about every single day. So that gives you more players to play every single week, including also November 1st, professional basketball starts up.
Oh, man.
Once the NBA starts,
I'm
there's a
looking
game
forward
every
to
day
that.
of the week. If not 50. So there's going to be many more opportunities for people to play other than just Sunday, Thursday, and Monday night right now with football.
Yeah, man, with basketball coming, I am pumped. I mean, that's I could be playing every day. But of course, we have our Beat the Commish game going on every Sunday, and tell everybody a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, for a $2 fee, anybody that comes to our site at FantasyPlayerExchange.com, there's going to be a link right on the top of the website. It's called Beat the Commish, and the idea is exactly that, to beat you. And the way we do it is the highest return on investment wins $50 every week, and at the end of this entire football season, whoever has the highest percentage for 1 week will win $1,000 cash.
Man, that's awesome. $1,000 cash, beating me by the highest return on investment. And what I'm finding out, Victor, is as I'm going through playing each week, you got to look for those gems. You may not want to go for those high dollar guys. As you see, everyone costs money. You can spend between $1,000 and $1,200 to set your 5 guys in your fantasy lineup on FantasyPlayerExchange.com. Beat the Commish game. But got to look for those gems to really hit a big return on investment. Does that sound right?
Definitely. It's nice to have a Matt Ryan every week or a Tom Brady, but you're not going to get that huge return because you already know they're going to do well. You got to find those Ponders or someone who you're not expecting to have a big week, and then boom, they completely surprise you. Like maybe Fitzpatrick or something like that. Someone you're not expecting to have a big week, but my suggestion is if it's for football, you want to look at a quarterback that's playing against a really rough defense. Someone who's like the Cleveland Browns this week against the Giants. I think Manning's going to have a huge game. So you want to look at something like that where that's a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. Matter of fact, I'm going to reveal real quick what my players are this week, Victor, to you. We talked about the high dollar guys. I did go with Matt Ryan only because, like you said, going up against a real weak defense with Washington. I love Andrew Luck this week coming off the bye. I think he's going to have to throw it a ton against the Green Bay Packers, and I think he finds some success. I like Andy Dalton, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's been getting it done a lot, and I like the buy there at just $67.95. I went with Antonio Gates as I think he's finally back. He's going to be targeted early and often, and he will beat the Saints defense big time today. And then Leonard Hankerson, I think with all the attention being paid to Reggie Wayne, Hankerson can get it done big, and he's $43.38. That's a nice gem.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to look for, those buys. And one thing I just want everybody to realize is, starting last week, we started a promotion that anybody who signs up at fantasyplayerexchange.com will get $10 free to play.
Wow.
That means they could play the Beat the Commish games for 5 weeks straight for free, or they could just play it once and spend the other $8 any way they like.
Nice. So right now, sign up. You get $10 free just for sign up. Play against me. Beat the commish game. You can find that at fantasyplayerexchange.com, or you can hit us on our website, kickassfantasyfootball.com. Victor, thank you so much for being on. We'll have you on again next week. And like I said, I don't think anyone beats me.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck.
Except for the 8 guys last week.
Yeah,
and
except
3
for the 8
guys a week.
Everybody
in week
not
1.
every once in a while.
All right, thanks a lot, Victor. All right, well, let's go to the phone lines now. We got Jim from Northfield on the phone. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
All right, what do you got for us, Jim?
I got a quick question for you. I'm going to give you 6 guys. I got to start 5. One will be a flex. My backs are Trent Richardson, Morris, and Bush. And then I got Demaryius Thomas, Malcolm Floyd, and Hartline from Miami. I got to sit 1. Right now I'm sitting Hartline. I wanted to see what you guys thought.
I'd sit Floyd over Hartline. Other than that, I think you got the right combo there.
Yeah, I agree. Floyd.
I was thinking of New Orleans game being a shootout and maybe Floyd finally having a monster, but
Floyd will have a good game. I'm starting him in the league where I've got him, but I think that Hartline's got a lot more upside, and the other choice being Thomas. I wouldn't sit Thomas.
Yep, I agree.
No.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so there you go.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
All right, we got Nick from Manahawkin on the phone. Nick, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
All right.
I have 2 questions, actually. Mostly all my running backs are playing great rushing defense, and I have 3 to pick. That's out of 2.
Okay.
It's 2 out of 3. It's C.J. Spiller, Chris Johnson, or Green Ellis.
Wow, love Green Ellis this week. Great play. CJ, I just can't trust them. But Spiller, of course, is splitting time in. They're going up against the Niners. I guess CJ is going to be the lesser of the 2 evils here for me. So I'm going Ellis and CJ. What do you think, Professor?
You know what? I'm going Ellis and CJ too. I think that for the same reasons that I didn't like Fred Jackson before, I don't like CJ Spiller now.
So you're Chris Johnson?
Yes, Chris
Yes,
Johnson.
and my last question is Bo and Hartline.
Wow, got to go with Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe's the play here. Great play. I think he's. He's home. He's against Baltimore. You can pass against Baltimore.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You know what? I like both of those guys. I like them a lot, but the Baltimore matchup makes me want to think Hartline. Hartline is. They both have about the same expectation, but Hartline's got a lot more upside. So, roll the dice and go for the bigger play.
All right, thanks, guys.
All
right, thanks a lot. You're back to your not liking each other again, huh? Kumbaya moment is over. All right, well, we got just a couple of minutes left in the show. If you have any real quick questions to help you with your lineup, give us a call, 609-573-3776. All right, it is time to get into our studs, duds, and sleepers for Week 5. Kamish, who is your stud of the week?
Stud of the week has to be Mr. Matt Ryan going up against that weak secondary of the Washington Redskins. They are the worst against the pass, and with targets like Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Gonzo, Ryan will feast today.
Well, my stud of the week this week is Arian Foster. Yeah, he is always a start, but with Ben Tate a little dinged up, Foster is an unequivocal stud. They faced the Jets, who lost the time of possession battle almost 2-1 last week. That is icing on the cake. Foster is huge.
How about my dud of the week is going to be Mark Sanchez versus that stingy Houston defense. On Monday night, at some point in this game, it will get so bad for Sanchez, it might be Tebow time.
Oh, dear Lord. New York will explode.
Yeah.
My dud of the week, speaking of people exploding, I'm not going to be popular around here. Michael Vick, dud of the week. The Eagles usually follow up an emotional game with a letdown, like I said before. Add to that letdown the fact that they face the Steelers. The Steelers are healthy. You have to see a bad day coming for Vic.
Sleeper of the week is T.Y. Hilton. He'll be the number 3 receiver for Luck today as they face the Green Bay Packers. He helps Luck get it done with a sneaky contribution of catches and yards.
And my sleeper is Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler gets snippy when he doesn't get his protection, but the Jags don't have a pass rush. There's nothing for him to get pissed off about. So start Jay Cutler if you got him.
All right, great stuff there. And I want to remind everyone, again, you can check all this information out on our website. It's kickassfantasyfootball.com. Sign up for our newsletter there. We'll email you injury reports, who to pick up off of waiver wires, who to trade and trade for. It's great stuff. You can sign up for free right there on the website. And let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got Dave from Millville. What do you got for us, Dave?
Who should I pick today, Eli or Breeze?
Okay, Eli or Breeze?
I like Breeze.
Yeah, as much as I like Eli as a great play this week, Breeze is a great play.
He's going for
week.
the record, and he's got his old Champagne's going to be there. It's a big day for Breeze.
All right, let's go back to the phones. We got Jeff on the phone. Jeff, welcome to the show.
How you guys doing? I got two questions.
All right.
Long term, for the whole season, who do you like, Eli or Dalton?
Okay.
And long term, who do you like, Ridley or McGahee?
Wow, I love McGahee. He's got a great schedule the rest of the way against the run. And listen, Eli, he's all dependable, man. He gets it done every year. He was just a few 100 yards shy, I believe, of 4,000 last year. So, Eli
is solid. He is dependable. Dalton has a lot of upside, but Eli's the better play, and I'm with you on McGahee over Ridley.
All right. And back to the phones. We got Elliot from Delaware on the phone. Elliot, what do you got for us?
Hey, fellas, I got it a little late this morning. I don't know if if you guys have answered my question, but we're going back to the same question. Reggie Wayne over Wes Welker.
Wow.
Wayne.
It's like Christmas for me every time somebody asks the Wayne versus Welker. And actually, with everybody dinged up in New England, Welker's value has gone up significantly. So I have flipped. I am a Welker over Wayne this week.
I'm going Welker over Wayne as well. I think all the potential will be to Brandon Lloyd, which will really open up things for Welker today.
Wow, look at that kumbaya moment there. All right, thanks for the call, Elliot. And we got Dan from Cape May Courthouse on the phone. Dan, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I got Richardson or Morris. I got to start one more running back, where I could use one of them as a flex, and right now I have Torrey Smith there.
Ooh, wow! I like that problem. I'm going Trent Richardson and Torrey Smith.
I agree. Richardson Smith is definitely the play.
All right, sounds good. And we got Mark from Malton on the phone. Mark, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I need a question on the flex. I got Anquan Bolden, Macklin, and Mendenhall, 12-team PPR.
Wow. Bolden, Macklin, and Mendenhall, and you need one, right?
Okay, I'm going to ask you the question I asked all the time last year. Are you winning this game or losing this game right now before you choose this player?
I'm winning right now.
You're winning right now? I think that you play Macklin. If you were losing, I think the upside of Mendenhall might get you a nice bit of production, but he's a little risky.
Yeah.
If you're winning, go with Macklin.
I agree.
Well, again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kumbaya. All right, we got John from Hamilton on the phone. John, welcome to the show. What do you got?
Yeah, just a quick question. I have Phillip Rivers and Andy Dalton. Just wanted to see what you guys thought.
Rivers and Dalton.
I like Dalton a lot this week. I like Rivers a lot this week too, but I do think that Dalton up against Miami is one of the plays of the week.
Yeah, I mean Miami's defense just horrible. Dalton's been getting it done big time. Look for Green and Gresham and Hawkins to have big games today.
Yeah, I do want to say if you have Rivers and don't have Dalton, he is a very good play this week, but Dalton's a little bit better.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for all the questions, and I want to remind you, if you weren't able to get in, check us out on our website, www.kickassfantasyfootball.com. You can get all the information there.
And all of our callers, remember to go out to the Piccalilli Inn, get your Sunday Fun Day T-shirts, have a chat with Everett up at the bar, and enjoy the game. Free appetizer. Yes,
order the scallops, man.
And the scallops are the appetizer to order.
And hey, if you weren't able to get on, you can check out. We do have a Blog Talk Radio show that starts at 11 o'clock this morning. You can find the information on our website or blogtalkradio.com. We'll continue to take your lineup questions there for the next hour. Thanks for listening to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. I want to thank our experts, the Commish Henry Brick and the Professor Steve Wynn, and our kick-ass producer Scott Ewing. I'm your host, Matt Lowry, and if you're not playing fantasy football, you're probably spending too much time watching Dr. Oz. See you next week right here on 97.3 ESPN.
I love that.